In last video, we have discussed the different methods of tunneling in hard rock, and in today's video, we are going to learn the different methods of tunneling in soft ground or soft rock. The methods of tunneling in soft ground is actually a specialized job. This does not require any use of explosives, and what we require is some hard tools such as pickaxes and shovels. Nowadays, compressed air method is also being used for this kind of purpose. And the difference is here, during excavation, support system is required for the side walls as well as the roofs, as the soft soil can come in and can collapse. That is, you have to provide, depending upon the soft ground again, there is again classifications for the soft ground. So depending upon the kind of soil in soft ground, you have to provide timbering works for the roof as well as the side wall. The support can be in the form of timber, or it can be in the form of steel plate or any other similar material. Now, the various operations involved in soft rock tunneling will include excavation or mining, removal of excavated material, scaffolding and shuttering, lining of tunnel surface. So we know that whenever you are going for the tunneling purpose, the first procedure, first method will be excavation. Okay, you have to cut the soil. And after cutting the soil, what you have to do is, you have to muck the soil. That is, you have to remove the excavated material. Since it is a soft ground, you have to provide timbering works if required. That is, a temporary support is to be given, and that is called scaffolding and shuttering. Then once you are providing all these timbering work, or you're providing supports to the sides as well as the roof, then you have to provide a lining for the tunnel surface so that protection is being ensured. No soil falls from the sides or as well as the roof, and the workers who are working are also safe enough. The nature of ground is the most important factor in deciding what is the kind of tunneling work or method to be adopted. And usually the ground which are encountered in the field includes hard ground as well as soft ground. If it is hard ground, which we have already discussed, it will be self-supporting. There is no requirement that you have to provide temporary structures which will prevent the soil or the ground from caving inside the tunnel. Now, if it is soft ground, again some classifications are there, which include running ground, soft ground, firm ground, and self-supporting ground. Now let's see what are these kinds of ground. So running ground means you require the support immediately. That is, as soon as the excavation is done, or along with the excavation, you have to provide the support. No little minutes can be given so that it can stand upon itself. Then soft ground includes what? Immediate support is to be given for the roof, and you can provide a little time for standing in case of sides. Firm ground means the roof as well as the sides can stand for a few minutes. Okay, the example for that is the dry earth. Then comes the self-supporting ground. That also comes under the soft ground, but the self-supporting ground is also possible in the case of soft ground. Here, it can remain unsupported. If the length is shorter, like around 1.5 to 4 meter, then it can remain unsupported. There is no need that wooden plank or steel planks are being given. The example for this kind of soil is sandstone. Now coming to the factors which affects the choice of method, which method is to be adopted, depends upon some factors, and it includes the size of tunnel, that is dimension, how much is the width, how much is the depth to be constructed. Then what is the kind of ground, whether it is hard rock, whether it is soft ground, and inside the soft ground whether it can self-support itself, whether sides are given more importance or the roof, it all depends. So type of ground is also of utmost importance. Then the equipment which is available, then what is the method of sequence while excavation. So these are the factors which depends the type of tunneling method to be adopted. Now, the methods which can be used for soft ground includes some methods which require timbers, that is, immediately support is to be given, and some methods which require not the timbering planks, some other methods other than providing the timbering planks, because sometimes what happens, the timbering plank may not be enough. They may not provide the complete support which is being required. So there are basically classified into two methods. One is the method which requires the use of timbers, and other method is not the one which require timber. The methods which require timbers include four-poling method, needle beam method, army method, Belgian method, English method, American method, Austrian method, German method, as well as the Italian method. And the methods which does not require the use of timbers include linear plate method, shield method, and compressed air method. So in our syllabus, it is focused on shield method as well as compressed air method. So we'll go for those two methods only. And in this video, we'll be covering the shield method, and the compressed air method will be learnt in the next video. So shield method is a tunneling method which is being adopted for water-bearing strata or subaqueous strata. Now shield tunneling is preferred when you're having soft ground, as we already know. Then this is a movable frame which is used to support the face of tunnel. The tunnel is excavated and here the lining is being given so as to provide the protection under the shield. So the word meaning of shield is what? A covering is being given. We know that if it is a water bearing strata or if it is subaqueous, then there is a high possibility that the soil or the roof of soil can cave in, and the people who are working inside the tunnel, they can also get affected. So more importance is to be given while subaqueous or water bearing strata is dealt with. So the method what we apply here is a shield method. Now a shield is a device which is meant for excavation that is to be carried out beneath the water bearing strata. It basically consists of a cutting edge. You know what is cutting edge? That is, you'll be having the excavation material, or in order to excavate, a rotation effect will be given, the soil will be cut. Okay, for that a cutting edge will be provided. Then a skin plate in the form of a shell structure, then a hood of jack, ring girders, stiffening steel plate, port as well as port door, and a tail. These are the things what is basically which can be seen in the shield machine. So skin means what? The outer envelope is there, which is usually cylindrical in form, and it will be consisting of a steel plate. Then cutting edge is what? In front of the skin, some fixed cutting edge will be there, which will be pushed into the face, and it cuts the excavation to the shape of the tunnel. Whatever is the shape, into that shape this tunneling procedure is continued. Then propelling jacks will be there, that is a series of powerful hydraulic jacks will be mounted for the tunneling procedure. Then hood will be there. Hood means a covering. What is hood actually? It is an extension which will be given so that it will be providing the protection to the workers who are working in the forward direction of the machine. Then tail is there. That is, tail is provided in the rear section, that is in the back section, and this will be projected a little back, a little distance over the completed lining. So as soon as the excavation is continued, immediately the lining is being provided, and in front many workers will be there, at the back portion also many workers will be there. So in order to protect them all, the hood, tail, all these things are given. Then porthole is there. So you know that whenever you are going for the cutting procedure, what happens is soil will get excavated. Now that is known as muck. So once you cut the soil, then there should be some portion where you have to permit the muck. So porthole is something which when opened can permit the muck into the completed portion of the shield. So these are basically components. Now depending upon the methods of shield tunneling, that is various methods of shield tunneling is adopted for different types of soil. So we'll see what all soils are being, or in which all soils this is adopted. One or two port door is opened, the material is excavated, and then it is deposited at the bottom of the tunnel. If it is clay, again one or two ports can be opened, then the material is continuously filled into the portion, excavation is carried out and soil is removed immediately after the excavation if it is clay. If it is sand, then the tunneling can be of open type. The sand will be settling on the floor of shield and it should be continuously removed. Now, it is to be ensured that the propelling jacks are not blocked by the sand. Then if it is running sand, means it may collapse very soon. So there the bulk head shield is being used. So these are the different types of soil where you can adopt shield tunneling. The tunnels constructed using the shield method usually will have a circular cross section, and the reasons behind this is the rotation of shield will be easier if it is a circular section. Then it can grant the protection to the primary lining. As soon as excavation is done, a lining can be provided. Then this will be providing the maximum cross-sectional area, the smallest perimeter. We know that driving force is to be given while the machine will be moving inside the tunnel. For cutting purpose, we know that it is getting in contact with the soil. So frictional force will be coming as a hindrance for the forward movement. So it is always preferable that for the maximum cross-sectional area, you have a smallest perimeter. So again, circular cross-section is preferred. Then this is also ideally suited to resist the semi-fluid pressure which will be exerted by the soft ground. So these are reasons why circular section is preferred. Now what you can see here is a cross section of a shield tunneling machine. This is the cylindrical distribution. Here you can see the cylindrical shape. When you are going in the forward direction, earth pressure force will come. This is the cutting head. Then from the sides, wherever it is coming in contact, you will be having a frictional force. So driving force will be coming, which will be moving in the forward direction. So now I'll just show you how the work is being completed in a shield tunneling machine. Basically, 2 vertical pits will be made. Now tunnel is to be constructed from this portion to this portion. This is the tunneling machine, shield machine. So here you will be having a cutting head. So the cutting head will excavate the soil and it will move forward. This is what you can see over here. The tunneling head or the cutting portion is cutting the soil and it is moving in forward direction. Once a certain portion is being cut, that is this much portion is cut, a lining is being provided so that the soil from this portion, that is from the roof, may not cave in or from the sides. So once it have gone for a certain distance, a segment, that is a steel reinforced concrete or steel wall lining is provided, and again the procedure is continued. Once it reaches this portion, again this portion will be given the steel lining. Again it will move in the forward direction. Again steel lining will be given. Like that the procedure is continued, and till it reaches the next pit, this tunneling procedure is continued, and you will be having the complete filling with a steel lining. So this is how usually the shield protection or shield tunneling method, using that the tunneling work is completed. So in the next video, I'll tell you how compressed air method is being used for the tunneling procedure.